Good evening, and welcome to RockTruth Radio. I am your host, Selena K, and we thank you for joining us as we rock truth for absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, you have to look like that.
Like, huh?
It was that truth before our very eyes. Your eyeballs were mine. I can't help it. Where was I? We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inerrant, and the final authority for all. RockTruth is founded on He who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. RockTruth Radio is a cross-cultural response to the economic climate and social crisis of today. RockTruth is designed to serve the physical need of fallen man while serving the spiritual need he didn't know he had that impacts, affects, and infects generationally. RockTruth Radio seeks to inspire, enlighten, highlight, upcoming and established local kings and queens of character and international ones, babe, while promoting Black consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. It is indeed a kingdom renaissance. Welcome to Cross Country, baby. Yes.
Woo.
Yes. What is going on, Will?
Yo.
What is going on? What is going on?
Well, apparently it's y'all, because you and Rock Single.
Hey, man. Hey.
Between Rock Single and Ty's other show. What is it? His radio show.
BZ&Z Radio.
My goodness.
Yes.
That was awesome. 3 hours.
3 hours. That was 3 hours on yesterday.
Yes.
And
2 hours.
2 hours on Wednesday.
Yeah. I had to make an executive decision. I was like, cut this off. Hit the buttons. Hitting buttons over here. No, but
got people popping on. What's going on, Mr. Linda? Hey, Mr. Linda. Shout out to you. Hey, Miss Latrice. We got Anaya. Hey, Naya. What's going on, Doc?
What Doc talking about?
Some more.
Yeah. Y'all don't want to do that. Yeah. Hey, but no, I do want to commend y'all for y'all conversation. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had more often. Especially dealing with that term and terminology of friend, and also dealing with that concept, because we really don't understand the concept. And you know this already. It is easier. No, I'll say it like this. You will get a greater understanding of friend once you move into the proper marriage that's under God. When you go into that proper marriage, friendship becomes what's the word for it? It becomes clearer. Does that make sense?
It does, but you got to remember that that's the avenue that gets you there. So
right. You're absolutely right. It's the avenue. But I was even telling the wife last night, I'm so grateful that that we started there, because if you don't start there, you have no way back when things get rough. You know. And so that's why I was saying that's where the where it becomes clearer when once you move past friendship and into the courting phase, and you start talking about, okay, hey, I think I really do enjoy your company, let's get married. You start to realize what a real friend is, because now you're starting to say to yourself, like, I can spend my life with this person, just like like another, like same sex friend. Like I don't want to spend my life with my
right.
like, no, I'm good.
No, none of that. No. None of that.
Good.
But no, absolutely. I think that I agree. The conversation is necessary. I think that as we continue to discuss it, we found that we found where we're having an issue, and it ain't just one person. It ain't just male, female. It's not in one particular area or region, because we're not all in the same places. We're not all of the same, prototype. We're not, and we don't all come from the same backgrounds. However, we all came to the same point where there is an issue, and you're watching how everybody has an ideology, and that's why RockTruth is imperative, because we don't have an ideology. We have this. And so, even though, to be honest with you, the ideologies that man has created, it does benefit you. It seems more like I would more than likely go along with that plan, because it worked, but it doesn't. If you actually analyze the relationships that you're in, or you have been, this is why they failed. It's not because it's just you, but it's also because of your lack of obedience and your lack of following the law. And when you don't, you can't expect things to go right, and you can't expect to be bailed out. You know what I'm saying? Again, these man-made systems that are in play. But it's definitely a conversation that is necessary. You have to be willing to define these terms. You have to be willing to don't use made up words. If he ain't use it, don't you use it. And if you look at it, you don't see anything else besides friendship, spouse, married, and divorce. I don't even play the separation game. That's another straddle of. He doesn't honor
straddling the fence.
Exclusive relationship. That's a straddle fence. He doesn't honor it. He doesn't recognize it. So this is something you putting in play as like a buffer between to see. And God ain't playing in that. Not. He told you what to do. So if you feel like this person is the person for you and all of this stuff, after you've developed friendship with them, and developing friendship doesn't take 5,000 years.
No, it does not.
All you got to do is be a friend. Like, you ain't never got to do show up as a friend in somebody's life from day one.
Right.
I feel like day one. That's not
right. It's stripped out. So I was looking at that word biblically, and in the Hebrew, when it starts to break it down, it breaks it down to companion, right? And when you look at that word companion, the Bible doesn't, or the Hebrew word doesn't make a distinguish between male or female. It just says, it just says, that's my friend. So what happens then is that, and this is just me kind of looking at the skimming of the top of it, it would almost look as if God is saying that as you go along in life, you're going to have friends, and you're going to make a decision whether you want to be intimate with that friend or on an intimate level or not.
Yes.
And here's the tripped out thing. That's male or female.
Correct.
Unfortunately, which is right. So in a male's mind, because we understand I can't procreate without the female, then we have to understand that companionship is in the female. That companionship is, that friendship is in the female. That because I'm going to have male friends, but I am not going to procreate with them.
Correct, King. So now we're going into productivity.
Right.
And we're understanding that again, you can be, if you start from that basis of where you are, and you can be friends where there's no distinguishing between prototype A, prototype B.
Right.
So now that we move into, okay, this level of intimacy or whatever you want to call it, you have to understand the rights that another person party has. And you can't invade this person's rights. Like they have a choice in it too. And that's the blessing. That's the blessing. And the one thing, as we're looking at models, if you don't do anything else, just look at how God treats you. Look at how he treats you. And God treats you like this. If he's not holding you to exclusive relationship, I want to be exclusive, but I want you to want to be exclusive with me on your own, not because of what I do for you, not even for who I am, because you want to. Like so that's the same model for marriage. You don't want nobody that just because so this the new rule. We're gonna be together, and God like
no,
God, give me.
God does not want to force himself on you at all.
He's not.
He wants you to want him. He's not raping. God is not a rapist.
He's not a rapist. He's not forcing you. He's not. And that's the thing too. Like that's again one of the things that came out yesterday. One of the callers, I believe, they were talking about how God, you always covered by grace. No, you're not. Let me explain something to you. There is a level in which God ain't going with you. Like you can't just keep doing what you want and think God gonna be right there covering. That's because not true. That would make him a flunky.
Yeah. Well, here's the reality of it. When people, because I've had people ask me that, like once saved, always saved, and I'm a firm believer in that. But here's the reality of it: that if you are going to be a believer, then you're going to be a believer all the way.
All the way. You're going to obey.
If you're going to obey, you're going to obey. So at the moment that you feel like you're not saved, then you never did the first part, which was to obey. Right. Right. So that's where some of the dilemma comes in when people want to say under grace, because reality of it is this: even Christ himself says there are going to be those that are not going to make it in.
You're going to be surprised who's in heaven. He said, for real, there's people dressed with the patches on their elbows.
There's going to be a clear divide of people that are going to be over there and people that are going to be over here.
He's making that right now.
And because what's the sense of having the wheat and the whey to grow up together? What's the sense of both items growing next side by side if God is not going to shift them? If the weeds are growing over here and the wheat is growing right next to it, and God says don't try to go making a distinguishing between the two, that's God's way of helping us understand everybody's not going to make it. Yeah. And he knows who they are going to be. That's his responsibility.
You don't. But your responsibility is to treat everybody
the same way.
So that's why you can't have a best friend, because everybody is your friend.
Yeah.
Now you can have a friend. You can have a friend that I guess you could say they do more, but that's the friendship that they offer. Nobody can uniquely offer that different type of friendship than that person, but it doesn't make them best. It just makes them
that's my special. Yeah, that's my special friend.
The special adjectives, they killing me. They killing me.
That's my special friend. That's my friend. Yeah.
We just chop that thing on off, move it away, and we can just deal. That's your friend. Like
that's your friend.
Other couldn't be that, because that's not even who they are. They ain't even mature like that. They've never been raised like that. So they could never be that. So there's no special. Oh, like I said, the friend. No, they double.
That friend. That's that friend.
What? This is, but we have to really deal with this and deal with our ideology, deal with our terms. Don't be like, that's the one thing. Let me please shout out to Doc Ock, because after the show on Wednesday, what I
Mm.
appreciated about her and what I loved about her is that she went and investigated the terms for herself. And
Mm.
she went
Yeah.
and she saw none of the words is in the Bible. Exclusive not there,
No.
courtship
No.
ain't there, dating not there. Like none of
Nope.
this stuff is there. So then why are you using the term? I
Right.
wouldn't use nothing that he ain't using.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just takes away from, like, it helps your own ideology, help your own mind be right.
Yeah.
Don't say something he didn't say. Don't use the words he didn't use. Because now our responsibility as ambassadors
Mhm.
is not to say what we want. We
Right.
say what he said. Like we
Right.
say what he did, but we are
I
also living here. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've just told people over and over because I had a guy at work. He was talking about something, and I told him that I was bound. I'm bound by the Bible. And he said,
Yes.
"What does that mean?" I said, "I cannot tell you what I think.
Yes,
I have to tell you." Right. I cannot give you my personal. If you give me a kingdom question, I have to give you a kingdom answer. Just like in a regular king, in a regular kingdom, like an earthly kingdom, if the king said that to cut it off, then that's what you do. It's not a question anymore. It's the king. This is what the king said. I am representing the king as his messenger. He said, "Do it." I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I don't care that you're wrong or you're right.
And that's the part too. That's what they get it twisted. They think we're ambassadors.
They take it personally, right?
They take it personal, and they think that we're taking it personal or we care like that. No, we don't. I'm not at liberty to care. I have to say. I have to say, or I'm going to be held accountable and responsible for not.
At all.
I'm serious. It be like that.
Yeah, I remember one time there was this lady. She was asking me about the baptism, and I just quickly said the baptism is a symbol of your faith, and that it's not the option or the object that gets you into heaven, right, or gets you into the kingdom of God. And she flipped out on me, and I was just like, whoa, wait, what's, because she's Baptist, she hardcore Baptist, and I was like, right, she was like, you got to be baptized to get into the kingdom of God. I said, whoa, don't get it twisted, I'm reading what the Bible says. The Bible makes it clear. Jesus said to be baptized, yes, but then he goes on to say that you must have faith in order to enter into the kingdom of heaven. You have to have faith. That's the most important part. That water baptism is a symbol of your faith, right? Because
you may not make it there.
Because there's going to be some people that will not be physically baptized in the water, but they have faith in Jesus Christ, and they are baptized in Him.
That's it.
And so she lost her mind. She almost wanted to, she was about to cuss me out in the church. I was like, tell you what, you can argue with the Bible if you want to. I'm not here to argue with the Bible. I'm here to teach you.
Take that up with him, because
take it up with him.
I promise you, I ain't come up with it, but I do agree with it.
Yeah.
I want to be, there's a point where before I also wrestled with, even though I knew, I would always say, like, I agree with the Bible even against me. At this point in my life, it's becoming a part of me. And so it's not that it's against me. I'm actually
on your heart.
I'm for this. This is right.
Yeah.
I have such an issue with the fact that I can't be perfect.
Right.
Besides in love, I wish I could honor my king the way that we were initially created to honor him. We never had to go this. He ain't got to feel no type of way because we're incapable. Like it bothers me that I can't serve him like I desire. However, he made an allowance for me to be able to still serve him and still love him. And I even like this better because, and I was thinking about I said, how did we get here where the relationship between the king or the ruler and their subjects became optional? How did we get here? Somewhere along the line, something occurred that made this relationship improper. This ain't the normal kingdom relationship. Ruler and subjects, it's automatic. He makes a man. The new rule goes out. It's red. That's it. Anybody caught not doing, off with your head. How did the relationship change? And I'm just like, I understand, because the truth of the matter is, a real king does not want his people to be there out of fear.
Right.
He want his people to be there because, oh, he the king. Oh, he got money. Oh, just like how you don't want to be treated, he don't want to be treated. And it makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Absolute sense.
Yeah.
And even
it makes it all easy.
Saying about how people not everybody's going to be baptized. Look at the repentant thief on the cross. This was your example of that.
like,
got 3 crosses.
Right. What do y'all want me to do?
Like, this is the clearest example that, because, and you know what's another thing too? I came across a lady and at the parking lot, like closer to the mall. This lady, she's talking, and she really wants people who have, sinned to pay for their sins. She don't want them to go to heaven. She want them to go to hell. She want God to have records on them. She like, they ain't getting in. Hold on.
Wow.
2 seconds. Dude got in the gate. He got in the paradise on the final second.
The shot clock is winding down. He crossing over.
Oh, the crows.
He is in.
So don't tell me that somebody got to be physically baptized. That ain't true. That's part of your religion mind that you have adapted, and you never went back to read for yourself. And that's another thing too. It's starting to just expose our readers. It's starting to expose those who are mature enough to go back and see. I'm gonna go back. I do not, and I encourage people, do not accept anything that I'm saying. I love the Players Club.
Never.
I want for the team.
I will show you everywhere in that book. I'll be like, look, this is what it say right here. This is what it say right here. My name ain't in this book. That's the tripped out thing. My name is not written at the beginning of that book at Willie Joyner wrote this. Nope. Guess what? I believe it. It is true. Here it is. This is what God asked me to do. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm not adding to it, and I'm not taking away from it.
So, I don't care who you are, my mama, my daddy, my children, and they all know it. It is God before all y'all. I don't care. Yeah. You don't have heaven or hell for me. You don't give me oxygen. You don't sustain me. Compared to my father, you broke. Like you making off his coins. Like, are you feel like ain't no way, right?
Aunt coming in. Yes, Aunt. I know he was baptized. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're absolutely right.
And
you're absolutely right.
Not gonna make it to baptism. Everybody not gonna make it because the repentant thief on the cross did not get baptized, and he was right there offered paradise by Jesus personally. So he was
baptized by Jesus.
By Jesus. Look, I guess
because of his faith. Because of his faith.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, religion kills. Religion kills. The kingdom resuscitates, and it also divides, Miss Ira. It also divides us, and that's the reason why we are what we are, because we're divided based on the religious aspects that people have planted and passed down generationally to us. It's poison, and again, it just takes you to go back and read for yourself. You got to do this thing for yourself, and He will provide you revelation. Now, don't go reading to prove a point. He also know that that's what you do. So He only gonna show you what it is you want to see. But if you want to see Him, He'll show you His hand. He will show you His hand. And so man, we just got to get back to those. We got to get back to our fundamentals, our kingdom fundamentals.
But I will tell you this: that's going to be
get
difficult
it back
for
to
some
that
people.
kingdom law. Go ahead, King.
That's going to be difficult for some people. That's
Yes, I agree.
That's difficult.
Yeah, we have a habit. We developed
Yeah.
habit of living in this world. Like that's why, like, you can't judge nobody. You don't know where nobody is. Like, where are you, Adam? Like, check your own
Hmm.
coordinates. Where's
Yeah.
your location? You know what I'm saying? But you can't
Yeah.
judge anybody. But everybody is clearly without excuse. We
Hold on, I
gotta
gotta
like
read
make
that.
what should pull it up.
She said,
We
First
have
Corinthians. I gotta read that.
yeah, go ahead. She said it's necessary. Yeah, I know that yeah, study to show thyself. Yes, pull it up. First Corinthians is a great uh area for marriage.
All First Corinthians is.
Yeah. Yeah, we really got to do better. The cross situation was totally different dynamic. The Holy Spirit had not even arrived yet because Jesus hadn't given up the ghost. And all of that is absolutely truth. However, there's no distinction. Like if he was able to be saved there without the physical water baptism, so are we. Like, he's not going to provide an example for one, and then it's different from everybody else. We are all one. This is why he treats us all the same. He's no respect of persons. So
Right.
if one got in like that, we're all possibly going to get in like that. Not You may have the opportunity to be baptized. You may not. You may come to church, because I know this is the world of church, and they go there, and you may get there and be, come down front and accept Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you don't make it to next Sunday. I've seen some people that didn't make it to night service.
Yeah.
So everybody doesn't get baptized. Does it mean they ain't going? No, that's not what that means. They confessed with their mouth, like he said, and believed in their heart. That's it. There's no, don't let nobody trick you into nothing. There is no, now, if you have the opportunity and you blessed enough to go down and experience the
Hmm.
symbolism
Yeah.
of salvation, be honored. But
Yeah.
if you don't, and all you get is the offer and you get to accept it, I can't wait to see you in paradise.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the whole reason why we have Ephesians 2:8, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at it now, and that we're saved by grace through faith through Christ Jesus, not
Yeah.
by our own efforts.
Correct. We don't
And right. So it's so sometimes, because sometimes people put baptism into that criteria. This is
Mhm.
part of my effort to get back to Christ. This is my part of my effort to get back to God. And the reality of it is, you don't have to go that path. God wants you to believe in him because of who he is, not because of what you do.
What you do, and you can't do nothing to you
There's
can't
nothing
do
you could do in the first place.
salvation. Like, there's nothing that you could do to compare to what he did to you on the cross. So you wasting your time. There's no all he needs you to do. All he needs you to do at this point is obey.
Hmm.
What obey? What law? What is law? Love. Love is the law. There's love. Everything is now hinged upon his love. What is his love? It is agape. It is selfless. Uh, this is your only job. Love.
Hmm.
Get this right. Get the definition correct. Love his way. Get you out of you. Get yourself out the way so that you can love yourself properly.
Yeah.
You can love God properly. You can love everybody properly. That's that vertical and horizontal relationship.
Hmm.
And if your horizontal ain't right, your vertical ain't. Because he don't care if I love Jesus, but you don't love my people.
Nope.
Because he said, if you love me, you will feed my sheep.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you to feed them poison. He told you to feed them what I wrote. Don't you steer
Hmm.
from it. Don't you deviate. None of that. I wrote it
Yeah.
clear and plain. And so, yeah, man, thank you so much, Aunt, for contributing to the conversation. Yes, this is just, again, things that we have noted that, all right, we have to continue on with these conversations, and we have to address them so that we're all on one accord. This is a great thing. Don't take this as a bad thing at all. This is a great thing, because in order for us to grow, we have to know where to start. We got to know what things we are missing, what elements
Right.
to add, So this is an amazing thing. I love the conversation. Shout out to you, Aunt, and Will, and John, and Lord Ty. Like, for real, I forgot her name was
Y'all,
Miss Jazz
y'all
yesterday.
so funny. All them people. Woo.
Listen, the passion of the people, before we go on commercial break, I know we're going to commercial next, but the passion of the people involved, like, this is the thing. everybody here wants to get this right. Everybody here wants to love properly and want to be loved properly. So ain't nothing wrong with that. We have to just, again, continue this conversation, bring this to the table so that we can all be straight with him, not with each other, with him first. Like, get that right. Like, we got to be straight, because at the end of the day, we don't have heaven and hell for each other either. We don't. We ain't hitting it. So I ain't
gonna be no good if I try to put you in either one.
Anyway, I ain't never accepted nowhere. So let's if it was up to man, if it was up to fickle man, I ain't getting in. They don't like me because I am.
Said they gonna find you like who? No.
We gotta heal. And unless somebody is telling the truth. And I you know what? I used to be scared. I used to be fear. I used to like get butterflies in my stomach to try, when I want to talk and tell people like, no, it's like that. I get a little now, especially after Mr. Shima. Shout out to you, Mr. Shima. You have pulled me out, sister. When I tell you I am confident and I stand for my father, and I'm not afraid to stand for my father either. And I'm grateful that I have this for real newfound boldness. Let's go ahead and go into a commercial and bring in Mr. Divine Warren. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Commercial.
RockTruth got merch, y'all. Who is your true north? Who holds you down so you'll always know where you are? God, the original true north, the original point of reference. Check out our clothing line, True North, at RockTruth2.com for your kingdom culture needs. Everything from tees to sweats, men's, women's, and kids' sizes. Inez Essentials Whipped Body Butter has a wide assortment of 8-ounce body butter made with unrefined shea and mango butter, infused with vitamin E oil, coconut oil, sweet almond oil, natural mica powder, and fragrant essential oils. It is designed to heal and moisturize dry skin, and it is perfect for the whole family. Our whipped shea butter is handcrafted with a blend of natural and organic ingredients. The unicorn body butter can be customized to the scent of your choice. If a scent is not chosen, no scent will be added. Have you been searching for a custom home decor and crafts? Check out Delicious Designs. For more information, simply search Della Williamson on Facebook. Are you in need of advertisement or marketing tools? Branded in his image prints, logos, flyers. Contact us today. RockTruth Prints is ready to serve your printing and designing needs. We offer a full array of marketing tools, logos, flyers, business cards, video ads, and website designs. If you need our services for prints, we got you there too. Contact us at rocktruthradio@gmail.com for more information.
Yo.
Okay, we back. Hi. We ain't got it. That's okay. Shout out to Lord Ty. I see you out there, brother. Blessings, King. Let me see. Was it anybody different? Oh, Miss Odella Jackson. Hey, Miss Odella. She has the what is that? Royal Rulers Group. Yes. Shout out to you, Queen. Blessings. Like, she on the same mission we on, just educating and teaching, and teaching kingdom and keep teaching kingdom law. So yes, sis. Great. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. All right, guys.
Did you want to push some buttons before we?
Okay.
Did you want to push the live button right quick?
We have jokes. Jokes. That's why I'm glad ain't nobody laugh with you. That's why I'm not even. I don't
need nobody to laugh with me. I laugh by myself.
Be quiet. So what? I like pushing buttons. What? Thanks, Doc. All right, guys. So we have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Divine Warren out of Philly, who is also it's dope. I love it. Yeah. So he is an author, and an artist, and a life relationship coach. Let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Divine Warren. Hi, Mr. Warren.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm sitting there listening to y'all. I'm like, y'all having fun and teaching. That's a beautiful thing.
That's the job.
That's
That's
Yes,
the
the
sir.
job.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's what we signed up for, King.
Look, I'm like, this is a good show before I get on here.
Thank you. Blessings to you. How are you today?
I'm good. Look, it's funny. Before I start talking, let me just say this part. I
Let
was
me.
on stream. I was on StreamYard on my phone. I had to swap phones because I forgot to put my name. So I'm just sitting in the. I'm like, why can't I see myself? But I
Yeah,
had to swap to a different phone, and then I
yeah.
swapped back. It's so funny. But I just wanted to say that,
Okay.
and I
We're
appreciate you for allowing me to be on your platform as well.
oh,
Oh,
thank you.
God bless it,
We're
man.
honored. Yes, we're honored to have you
Mm.
and what you are about to bring to this platform. So let's talk a little bit. Where are you from? Tell us about your background, your education, and tell us about the life coaching that you do.
Okay. Originally, I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
um Brownsville to be exact. I always got to shout my neighborhood. If you from New
Hmm.
York, you would already know. I always got to shout my neighborhood. But I've been living in Philly now for like 20 years. Uh, you know, background, grew up in the projects, mostly around my mom as opposed to my dad. I did know him. My dad was in and out of jail when I was a child, but as I got older, I was able to, get a better understanding of who he was, the stuff he
Mhm.
went through, how he was changing, and that was I just basically learned a lot from him, and education wise, I went to community college of Philadelphia. Then I
Mhm.
went to Temple University. So I have an associate's degree in liberal arts, and then I have a bachelor's degree in business administration. And what else? Life coaching. Oh, let me talk about that a little.
Yes,
Life coaching, it really started, to be honest, before I was certified and all that. It really started when I was a child. When I was young, it always seemed like people would ask me questions and they would ask me things about relationships. It was mostly relationships at first. People would be like, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? Or how can I do this different? Or does this particular person like me? Or am I playing myself and stuff like that? So I would just give my honest answer. And when I gave my honest answer, it seemed like a lot of people would come back and be like, you were right. Or, the info you gave me was good. And at this time, I was a child, so
okay.
I knew from that point of time, it was a little bit something different in regards to me to relate, relating to people and understanding where people were coming from.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, with that being said, I
Mhm.
converted that, later on, years later. I was still doing it, talking to women, mostly women, at times, because for some reason, growing up, men, we're not really taught to express our feelings and emotions like that. So a lot of times it was females that would reach out. And I would just like, tell them what I thought, tell them what I seen, and then they would get back to me, and then people would be like, you know what, you need to probably become a life coach, or maybe you need to do something. And life coaching wasn't even big at this time when they were
Right.
telling me this. And then it was like, well, you seem to know a lot about relationships. And then, I said, okay, people keep telling me this, and it seemed like I'm giving good advice and it's working. So I took heed to what they were saying, and I said, okay, let me get into this. And that's basically how I, took tests and stuff to become certified.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Hmm.
And so, you made mention, and this is why, our connection is very imperative. You made
Hmm.
mention that, you don't have, or in a sense, it was more females that would reach
Hmm.
out and less men. And what's
Hmm.
your experience with that? Like, is there, I know that you're saying that, of course, men have been taught not to, but
Hmm.
I know for a fact that puts society, not just the man, but it puts society at a disadvantage when men aren't able to properly express what's going on or how they feel or different things
Hmm.
like that. What is in your field? What do you think of that? What is your view on men in counseling?
You know what? To be honest, I think it kind of depends on the age demographic. Because I know when I was little, they used to say stuff like, don't express your feelings and emotions because people will use them against you.
Hmm.
Or they would say like stuff like, never let them see you sweat. Um, I used to remember, older guys, they would tell me, if you share your feelings and emotions, you're soft. So I think that this was something that especially, amongst Black people, I think this was something that was implemented in the culture. It was almost like if you express your feelings and emotions, like you were snitching on yourself or something. I think that's kind of what it was. And I think to this day, it's kind of to that degree. Because if it's passed down from generation to generation, I know my generation wasn't the first that expressed those feelings and emotions from that angle. If if it was passed down, then if I have it and it was passed to me, even if I'm not directly passing it down, I might be indirectly passing it to other boys and other men based on what I say and what I don't say. So I think that's part of what it is. Now, where we at now in society, social media is in play. People could say whatever they want to say. So to some degree, we have outlets where we can actually talk and express ourselves. But like I say, I think a lot of us are still caught up in the mentality that if I say too much, maybe I'm telling on myself. Or like I was taught, if you say too much, people can use your feelings and emotions against you. And I think that's where a lot of people, they don't want to get out of that mind state. That's just what I believe.
Yeah. No. What do you think?
And women, and I want to say this, I've never seen that with women. Overall. I mean, I've seen some women that they might give you part of the story or give you, their edition of the story. I have seen that.
Yeah.
Relationships or even just talking about their life. I've seen it from that point of view. But a lot of women, if you gain their confidence and you let them know that what they say is only going to stay with you, a lot of women, they'll open up freely. With men, when I talk to men, is some will open up, but it's like a little disconnect with the opening up with the feelings. They might say, wow, this is not good. She did this to me. She did that to me. But it's always mostly surface stuff. They don't get deep like a woman would say, he hurt my heart and I feel crushed. It's not that same. It's not to that same extent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. The disconnect there, because so I have a 12-year-old son and a 2-year-old son, and so one day me and the 12-year-old we were wrestling around, right? And so I decided to put him in a chokehold, and so I got him in this chokehold, and I'm teaching him how to get out of it and all this other stuff. And so a little bit later, I said, "All right, now we're gonna do this for real," because at first we were just playing, but I was teaching him a lesson, and so I put him in the chokehold. And I scared him. I put him in, and I'm really squeezing really hard, and he began to cry. And I had by this time I had let him go and everything, but I asked him, I said, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? He said, I'm scared. And I said, that's okay. Like you should, in that moment, you should be scared. You should, express that, because I didn't want to say to him, we don't be scared. We men, we ain't scared of nothing. No, if you are scared of something, you need to express that. Don't just cry about it, but express and be like, express and be able to say, Daddy, I'm scared. That scared me. That upset me in this way. Because now, as he goes on, when he gets that feeling, now he knows how to handle that situation. Now he knows how to deal with that emotion, and it's not new to him. Because I remember the first time my brother ever put me in a chokehold. I thought I was about to die, but but they never taught me how to deal with that emotion. So I had to learn on my own how to deal with that emotion. And I think that's what a lot of young kids, they don't ever get that opportunity in their young life to deal with emotion. And when it comes out, and it comes out the wrong way, it comes out like they used to tell me all the time, it's like a snowstorm in the summer. It's just like what is that, And so yeah, you're absolutely right, man. We don't pass that down enough to our children, how to deal with situations, how to deal with their emotions. And women are better at that. That's the only time I will ever say
exactly. Look, can I say, you said something very important. You said that we're not taught that. We're not taught that. So usually if a boy is around a man, or a boy is around, say, an older boy, they tend to emulate what they see. So if they see that, you know, like say if somebody gets hit or something and then they don't cry or anything, they feel like, okay, they're compressing their feelings and emotions. They're not
Yep.
even letting their tears in. I'm going to
Yep.
do the same
I'm gonna
thing.
do the
If it's
same
an
thing.
older brother, if it's an uncle or a
Right.
dad or whoever,
Right.
and in our society, it actually teaches that. When it
Mhm.
talks about the hulky man and show your masculinity
Yep.
and, you know, stuff
Yep.
like that. When we talk in regards to that, you never hear them talk about feelings and emotions.
Right.
It is
Right.
always talking about the strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's always talking about the bronze.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's always talking about how you can maybe control the situation
Mm-hmm.
or how you can uphold yourself in a manly right. It
Yeah.
doesn't say anything about if you're dealing with something that's not pleasant to you, or if you're dealing
Right.
with something that's harming you, or if you're dealing with something that you don't like, you should express yourself. You will
Right.
never see, I've barely ever seen that since I've been alive
Yeah.
in regards to men.
Yeah.
But when it comes to women,
Yes.
women are taught through nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even if they don't have the best parent, they might
Mhm.
still pick up on that particular attribute that their mom or their older sister or
Right.
whatever one, their grandmother, you know,
Right.
whoever who is around them that's a female, they'll tend to pick up on those attributes,
Wow.
even though it might not have been complete. But we don't, you know, she's hugging you and all that. You still look at it from the perspective, even if you don't really pay attention to it subconsciously, you still pick up from it that, oh, that's my mom and that's the way
Right.
she's supposed to be. When you look at a man and you see a man doing that, that seems a little indifferent or a little
Mhm.
bit out the way because that's not what we're taught to be like.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
is a societal thing. It's not just a black thing. It's not just a white thing. This is
Right.
across the board. You can go
Yeah.
overseas right now and you'll see the same thing. If a man is too feminine, they'll check him and
Yep.
put him in place and let him know that's not the way you should be as a man.
Right.
Wow.
You know, so it's a societal thing. It's not just here in America. And it's something that I think has to be changed because
Mhm.
the more that's pushed that we can't express those feelings and emotions, the more men are going to continue to act out in other ways because
Right.
as those negative feelings continue to build, sooner or later it's going to explode
Right.
because
Yeah.
you're not letting it out. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yes.
And then on top of that, we have to also recognize the fact that a lot of men are taught to some degree not to not to trust other men.
Oh yeah.
You
Right.
know,
That was
so
day one.
it's a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, don't let somebody know too much information about you and all that. You know, they might
Mhm.
use it against you. And when
Yep.
you consistently hear those things over and over and you see people act in that manner, it actually teaches you what to do and what not to do, even if it's indirectly. And I think that's some of the boundaries that we need to break down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I totally would agree. Just
Mhm.
hearing that is like, wow, no, this has to change. And I totally agree too. I think that, we have to, this, if not any other opportunity that we have as a society in a whole, we
Hmm.
have opportunity today to what they are terming reset and
Mhm.
start.
Hmm.
And I believe that this was put in place for us. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Almost like you
Hmm.
did. This is put
Yeah.
in place for us to be able to make that full turn. Not 360, just 180.
Right.
Make
Right.
that
Hmm.
turn in an opposite direction. And for real, because people be thinking 360. Now that's the same way. And so,
Started where you started.
yeah, I want you to
Hmm.
do that. I want you to go opposite. And so
Mhm.
to make that turn and and teach what we were supposed to teach, that homeschool your children is not a bad thing. This gives you opportunity to not only teach them education, but to teach them culture, teach them
Hmm.
all of this stuff. So we have a rare opportunity in life today to get back to our foundational teachings, our foundational everything. Thank you, Lord. And
Hmm.
build in as opposed to building what we've built thus far upon sand.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
quicksand at that. This has gone downhill quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Sandy shores around here.
That's true.
Right. So
You know
yes.
what?
Yes,
I
sir.
just wanted to say this. You was talking about love like earlier
Yeah.
before I got on. And I think a lot of the times when in relationships, when we're taught love, a lot of people think that you're just taught love just by it's some innate ability you just pick up on and be like, what now I know what love is. You're taught love based on what you see. You taught love based on the way people interact with you. You're taught love certain ways. And a lot of the times, I'm gonna say in the black households, and I'm not gonna say everybody, but a lot of the times the men is not in the household, right? So
I said, teach King. Now we're talking about it.
Okay, so a lot of the times in the black household, the man may not be there. Now, this is the funny thing. A woman can teach a man or a young boy to be sensitive and all that, but to some degree, he still has to see a man. He still has to see a man because that's how he learns what to emulate. If it's no man there, you're going to pick up on maybe just the feminine qualities. Not saying that you're going to be feminine, but you're going to pick up on the feminine qualities because there's no masculinity in the house.
Right.
So now we take it one step further. So there's no masculinity in the house, right? So now them young boys, they might know how to deal with some females to some degree because they picked up from their mom or their grandmother, older sister, certain tendencies on what to do to be nice in a feminine kind of manner, right? But now, where is it that they learn how to be a man from the loving aspect if the man wasn't there? Now they'll go look at their homies and stuff on the corner. And I'm saying because this is stuff that I see. They'll go look at their homies and stuff on the corner, and it'll be negative stuff. They'll be teaching them negative things, and they'll consider it like, oh, this is my older brother. This is my homie, and he's teaching me the way. He's teaching me the street way, or he's teaching me, these particular ways of doing things, but not realizing that, they're out there just like you. So now you're getting a lot of the negative aspects of the masculinity that should have been taught to you if it was a man inside the household. And then I'm not even trying to use that as an excuse and say like, oh, because they're taught that they're going that way. But I'm saying that is actually true. If there's no man there, you're going to look at what you see outside of your household as manliness. And if it's all negativity, or if a lot of it is negativity, more than likely, that's what, even if you don't go in the direction that they're going, you're still going to pick up on those particular attributes that they portray.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That's the key. And that's and we know what the result of, what the resolve is for our society. It is 1, law. 2, it is putting law in the home, bringing that man back into the home. And I don't want to say give, because you can't give anybody permission to do that, but a lot of people don't allow men to pick up the home, to be the lord of the home, because we have lawlessness that has spilled over into our streets. And
exactly.
And why? The root of it was in your house. Get back to God's original design for family in order to solve the problem. This is our problem. Have the proper elements in the home, and then it spills over in the streets, and then you wonder why. You birthed that. So we got to go cut that root off in your crib.
No, I'm sorry. And I was also going to say that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I was also going to say that when a young boy, a teenager, or a man shares his, his feelings and what he's going through, don't shut him down. Don't shine a negative light on that. Right. Or don't shine it in a way to make it seem like it's something different from being a normal man or a regular man. Of course, we know it's no normal man, but I'm just saying, when a man, for instance, I know some women that I used to talk to, and they used to say when they talk to men, if they were too emotional and they shared how they felt and stuff, it was an oddity. Why is it an oddity if a man is expressing how he feels towards you and is in a positive light?
Right.
But society has conditioned us to kind of think that way to some degree. So I would tell all men, don't worry about how other people are looking at you. Don't worry about how, of course, protect yourself if you think somebody trying to play you or mess with you, of course. But don't look at it as if you're expressing your feelings that you're not manly. That doesn't mean that you're not manly because you're not expressing your feelings. A true man should be able to express his feelings. He should be able to say what he wants to say, especially if it's coming from a positive angle. I think we need to shut down all these details that we have put in place for what a true man is,
Yeah.
and allow men to be who they are and
Right.
express themselves, especially if it's in a positive man. I'm not talking about running the streets crazy and shooting and all
Right.
that. I'm just
Right.
talking about as being a manly man and
Right.
being yourself, but also being able to express your feelings and share your emotions with people who you feel comfortable with sharing your emotions with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is really tripped out because I mean I'm in the process. I mean, like I said, I got a 12-year-old and a 2-year-old, but
Mm-hmm.
and I tell people this all the time because people ask me all the time how many kids do I have, right? And I tell them I have roughly 12 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I still count my first wife's
Yeah.
kids, and I count my current wife's kids,
Right.
and
Okay.
and out of all of that, I've got what 5 boys.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 boys, right? And each one of them, I've always expressed to them the same thing about love, right? And the way that I express it to them, and this is not to boast in any way, is this: I help them understand that if you want to show proper love, then you need to learn how to lay down your life. You need to learn how to suffer for a friend. You need to be able to say, you know what, whatever it is that you need, I'm willing to work for to give it to you. You know, my kids ask me all the time, like, Daddy, why are you so tired? Because I love you. You know, I'm willing to sacrifice my physical energy so that you can have the requirements, the things that you need: a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food in your stomach, so that you can have that. I'm willing to go through that. That's the love that was shown to me. So that's the love that I know to show to you.
That's it.
You know?
That's
And
it.
I think if people start using that fundamental picture and stop using this masculine picture of a man. Like, I'm sorry, but I've never seen any muscle bound men walking around with their kids. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I'm sure it's out there, but usually when you see a muscle bound man, he's stretching, he's doing all this. No, here is the proper that's the proper picture right there.
Right.
Proud, grateful, and just give them here. Just give them here. Just taking care of them. And so, I try to teach that to my sons every day.
Yeah.
Lay your life down every day. Suffer, sacrifice for that love. Sacrifice for that.
Absolutely. And do not attempt to benefit anything. You're not trying to benefit from it. Like the benefit is you loving. Like, and that's another thing, with love, people think that, when you're the lover, when you're the person provided, like it's a disadvantage, or they think that you're the one that looks weak, or but that's love. Love makes you look stupid. But if you're not, you're actually wise as in a room. You know what I'm saying? And benefit that comes with loving another person, man, to see somebody will smile, make it, their dreams come true, all because you just stuck by. You know what I'm saying? That you just stuck by, you listened, you respected them, you allowed them, like you said, Mr. Warren, to be, to just, you don't have to do any other, and you allow, and that is such a blessing, and it's a beautiful thing, to love and lay your life down for another person. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Like love is the highest elevation of understanding. So being that love is the highest elevation of understanding, you should come to some level of understanding within yourself to allow a young boy, a teenager, or a man, or even women, young girls, to be who they are. If you're trying to put them in a box and keep them from being who they are, or eventually it's going to come out one way or another. And if you allow them to be who they are, more than likely it'll come out in a positive manner. But if you keep constraining how you want them to be, and a boy can't express his feelings and all that kind of stuff, if you keep doing that, more than likely it's going to build up, and it's going to explode one day. And when it explodes, it's not going to probably be a positive thing that happens.
Right.
It's gonna pop out of that closet.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, where that volcano came from.
Right. Like, you've been feeding it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just explode, and you're
Yeah.
right. It may not come out positively on that end. It may come out,
That's true.
you know. So it's like, yeah, like don't feed the negative, feed the
Feed the
positive.
positive. Exactly.
Mistakes and all. You're mistake prone. You're not perfect.
Hmm.
Let them
Hmm.
do their flaws and failures too. You know,
Hmm.
man, you teaching. I love that. So,
Look,
but
I
you
will.
don't, and even with that, real quick, you don't grow through you don't grow through the positive most of the time. Most of the time, people grow through negative. And I'm
that,
just tapping into what you just said. So I know sometimes we want to jump in and be like double dutch. We want to jump back and forth, like, okay, I'm gonna help them now, and I'm not gonna help them now, and you got to allow them to grow and go through their process, especially if they're trying to kill themselves or something like that. That's a little different. But I'm
Yeah.
saying if it's just natural things that boys and girls go through, allow them to make their mistakes because that's the only way they're going to learn. And you'd be surprised that certain mistakes might turn their direction and make them go positive without you even trying to intervene.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just
You're
and
right.
if the same thing that you're talking about is the
Hmm.
same model that God has for us. He ain't jumping in nothing. He said,
Hmm.
"You law, I told you what to do. Now I ain't telling
Yeah.
you what to do for
Yeah.
my benefit. This
Yeah.
is for
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah.
saying good. So I'm not telling you what this is to benefit you to help avoid, issues with the memories you're gonna have. I'm trying to
Mhm.
like protect your memories. I'm trying to protect you. Don't do
Hmm.
but again, you
Hmm.
allow people to make those natural mistakes, like you said, and it could just
Exactly.
hear them on their own. Some
Mhm.
stuff
Hmm.
you ain't gotta tell me. Some stuff
Hmm.
I gotta touch it. I gotta push the button. I'm sorry. It's what it is. But I learned hot. Don't touch
Hmm.
that's
Don't,
Yeah, I
all
learned that quickly.
right.
don't let her push no buttons, man.
Yeah,
Please don't let
well,
her push no
Hmm.
buttons.
whatever. Okay,
She pushed the button yesterday. The whole show went
stop,
off.
stop.
Oh,
I
wow.
she
Yeah.
turned out she the reason Texas is having their problems right now.
Oh, man. Well, you got to push the button back on. Push it back on. They down there freezing.
Man, shout out to the people in Texas. We are praying for y'all. My
Yeah,
God.
that's where my wife is from. My
Really?
wife is from, yeah, she's from Texas.
Wow.
Yeah,
I saw
she's from Texas.
that is
That's some rough situations, man.
and Darnell, y'all be safe. They
Yeah.
had house people. They're from Gary, so they know how.
Mm.
Born in Gary, Indiana. They
Yeah,
know
my wife was born in Gary, Indiana.
that's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Miss Ira. Yeah, shout out to her. We'll have her on next month. I cannot wait. I'm excited about it. Like for real. And then we will be working together with the Voice for Lizelle. I'm excited, and I really want to work with you, Mr. Warren, in combining with a Voice for Lizelle the Men Too piece, which
Okay.
I just men too. Like the moment they came out with the Me Too movement, I
Hmm.
thought it was. I personally thought it was stupid, and the reason I thought that it was stupid is because the issues that women are saying they deal with are the same in a different form. It's human plight. Nobody from the trials and tribulations of life. Nobody. So if it's Me Too, then it's men too. So that means everybody is going through it in some form. So you may say, hey, this happened to me. Now, mine didn't happen exactly like that, but I am depressed. You're depressed. So we know what it's like to deal with the symptoms that come along with that. And so it's just like, I just definitely want to like address the issues that our men are going through. They have been hurt, they have been bruised, they have been scarred, not just by girlfriends and male friends, by parents. And
Exactly.
and people that were supposed to be there to help them, and they were hurt.
Right.
And we just act like, just going on with it, man. They pick it up. And no. We have to protect our kings. I know what you're saying to protect these queens. I get it. But protecting the queen is by protecting that king, because that king can now protect the queen.
Yeah, exactly.
But we have to get back into order. And them order operations is on purpose. Because I promise you, you can do the whole formula and you can get down and mix up and divide before you
Oh, it froze a little bit.
multiply. Is it multiplied in the back? Either one. You come up with the wrong result. And Yeah, did I freeze? Okay. So you get the wrong answer, the
Mhm.
wrong result. And so it's imperative that we remain in order so we can get his result, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure to have you. I do not want to leave here without discussing a few of the other things you do. You are an artist. Could you tell us
Okay.
about the
Yes.
art and Miss? Uh, is it ID apparel or is it Ida apparel? Like what is?
It's ID apparel.
That's dope.
ID apparel.
Okay.
Um, well, the art first it came around during the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where I grew up at, the trains used to run past my house. I used to always see graffiti and all that. So I always had an interest in graffiti. I used to write on walls as a kid and all that. But
Yeah, yeah.
um, I just always knew I wasn't really good at drawing. So I said, well, COVID came around March. That's when I started doing the painting. You know, I started doing abstract painting and stuff and just trying to get better at that. Me and my wife started our own line, ID Apparel, you know, and we wrote a children's book, The Bodyguards as well. We
Yeah.
Yeah.
put that out during the COVID. We just put that out the end of November and the end of October and November. We put that out during the COVID. You know, basically the book had already been done, but I was the one who kept pushing it back. I said, let's just wait, just wait.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we waited. And I think sometimes we might want to push something ahead, but sometimes pushing it at that particular time might not be God's timing.
Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we put it right out at the time that it was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm trying to put all three things and smash them together. So I was
Mm-hmm.
started doing the art during COVID. We started doing the idea apparel during COVID, and we put out our bodyguards book during COVID. We
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
more books to come. We're gonna just keep pushing the bodyguards book, and even with the bodyguards book, real quick, our book it really talks about molestation, and
Right.
it talks about base molestation or a person trying to take advantage of a child.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that that's a subject that a lot of people may not want to talk about.
No.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a subject like, oh, let's just get up today and talk about a man taking advantage of a girl.
Right. Right.
So we tried to write the book in such a way that we could talk about a subject that people might not want to talk about as much and put it in a way so that they'll feel more comfortable talking about a subject and also use our book as a teaching utensil.
Yeah.
You know, we have stories in there, we have questions in there for the parent. They can ask with their child. If the child is a little older, they can answer, you know, they can answer them themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely part of one of our mission, you know, is to
Yeah.
not let other children have to go through what we've been through because I was
Right.
taken advantage of more than one time by older girls.
Wow.
And you know my wife's story. She was taken advantage of by her dad.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so this is part of our experience. This is wasn't like we just woke up one day and said, "Oh, let's just write about this." No, this is something we experienced, and we don't want other children to have to go through what we went through.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things
Hmm.
that is a major factor, one is that, there are men that have been taken advantage by other men. And that's something that
Exactly.
definitely don't want to talk about. And then there
That's
are
something else. Yeah.
women, like
No,
you
I'm
said,
sorry. Like you were saying, a lot of
yeah,
people don't want to talk about that.
talk about that. And this is
Hmm.
what is crippling our generation. This is what's crippling society. We have got to address these issues. I work in, well, I guess I used to, but I guess we're gonna go a different avenue with a voice full of zeal. But
Hmm.
working in the DCS system and with the state and the court system and stuff, you see this. This is prevalent in just about every home. Like I'm not being facetious. I have like 4 people on my floor, and more than likely, it's probably 3 out of the 4 homes where you're gonna find a form of abuse. And
Hmm.
if you don't find a form of sexual abuse that is occurring, like I will be shocked. I'm not being funny. We
Hmm.
have all the way down to our um toddler levels, where you have children in preschool perping on other preschoolers, and
Hmm.
or you're sitting in a classroom and they're playing soldiers under the table. Like, and this is
Hmm.
kindergarten, you know, but then you'll say, "Oh, you don't tell your children anything until later on down the line." No, you need to educate right now. Out that womb, you need to be talking about what's the name of your book? I know it. I know it. I know
Bodyguards.
it. Say bodyguards. You need
Bodyguards.
to be talking. your body and how to guard it, even if they're children. If they can understand this video game here, and Coco Melon, understand,
Yes.
don't touch him.
Right.
You understand me? And that I don't care how old you are. You the baby moving around, bad play, and nobody better not touch you. And you continue that on. Children are ignorant. They're just not. They're not invested into. Invest into their own. So, woo. I mean,
Okay.
go ahead.
And that,
Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, you're exactly right. I think a lot of people think you got to wait till a child is like 7 years old or 6 years old. It's happening earlier and earlier and earlier, and now it's child on child.
Soon
So, like our book, exactly. In our book, that's what the book teaches: how to be the bodyguard of your own body. And if you don't understand the wording, the parent or significant other of your mom and dad, they can read it to you. It's up to us to teach this stuff if they can't understand it. And that's part of the reason why me and my wife, we started counseling, because I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified relationship coach. And my wife is a biblical counselor. So we started that. We just started that recently. That was another, because people kept asking us questions about life and other things. And, they wanted to, get our point of view and how they could change, things. And so we actually started that recently during the COVID. So we're just trying to reach people as many ways as we can and also help. It's not, I think a lot of people, we have to stop being selfish. It's not just only about us.
Teach, King.
It's not just only about us. If we see something wrong that's happening to others and we feel like we can help in some kind of way, that's part of our duty. That's part of our duty to help others. Going back to love. Helping people is a form of love. That's a form of the expression of love. It doesn't have to just be in your household to be considered love. Now, I'm not talking about indecent stuff, what people try to say is love. I'm talking about being an extension of the God of your understanding to some degree. You teach what was taught to you. You give back what you got and help others. At the end of the day, that's what a lot of it talks about. It talks about not just thinking about self, being more selfless and helpful to others. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, we're doing the same, and we're on the same with you guys. Like, I'm just grateful to have now partnered with you guys, and you guys are before us. So I love to have models. I love to have people that I can receive information from, receive truth from, receive knowledge from. Like I love to learn. So I love to learn.
Me too.
Learner, like I promise you, like I can't wait to learn something new in the day. Like for real, I love it or learn something new about myself. Like it's a lot of people be like, ooh, check it. We gotta go check that. We ain't done with that yet. Now come on, sister, back to the top board. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I thank you so much for like coming.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for allowing me on your platform.
Yes, like I'm seriously, I would love to work with you. I would love to like do something with the Men Too movement, because I just know what the resolve is. And if we can protect our kings, if we could edify our kings, build them back up, encourage them, love them the way that, like you said, we have received that love from the God of our understanding. If you like, I think that's a common theme with all of the religions, at least, is love. So at least love people the way that it's been given to you, and help people, like you said, extend to other people. When you say, Will, you got 12 children, that may not even be all. You might go add 13, because I just put my into your hand and say, hey, he's joking, but no, as a social worker out here in Northwest, I've been in several counties, probably about 3 or 4 counties now, and I have children, that I mentor or I impact, affect, and so these are still part of me. I'm still responsible. I have one that I've been with since she was 13. I think she about to be 19, something like that. I'm still responsible for her because I choose to. And that's what we're supposed to do. We should be extending ourselves. You don't have to go looking for a ministry. Your ministry might just be one in your home to start, two next door neighbor. It's probably
next door. It's next door.
Open and then move to the next neighbor house. Then move on down the street, go across the street. But your ministry,
and there's always a way you can find the help. Everybody's niche isn't going to be the same, but there's always a way you can find the help. Like you said, if you start with just one person, you helping one person other than yourself, you're doing a good job. Because if each one of us help one person, everybody could be helped. If you really think about it. Of course, there's going to be people that can help more than one, but if you just help one person, even if you help one person a week, you can reach a lot of people in your lifetime. And it doesn't have to start with some immaculate conception kind of thing. It could be something that's really simple. You know, you might see an older woman, you know, and she might have her bags or something and she's struggling a little, or maybe she's not even struggling. You could help her, or even saying good morning.
Just good morning.
Good morning.
Sometimes that's all I need to hear. You're right. It is a good morning.
That's it.
Reminding me. I almost was tripping. You are absolutely right. Thank you for your smile. Thank you. Like I need that. And like you said, it can just be that simple.
Oh, hello. How you doing today?
That's it. Because nobody else talks. Nobody talks to me. And you know, not me, but you know, that's how people sit. They're like, you know, nobody. Wow, I'm sure you even said something, and it's that moment that could have just gave them life, could have changed everything. Sometimes you don't know what somebody does.
You have no idea what you did.
Especially in this day and time, because there's a lot of people that they're saying a lot of people are dealing with depression. Being that we're not around each other, there's really no social interaction like it used to be. So just picking up the phone and saying hello. You know, because you never know a state, you know, of mind that somebody might be in unless you reach out. Because a lot of times if somebody is depressed or they feeling some kind of way of what's going on in the world, and then you keep getting slammed with all the stuff on the news and it seems like things isn't getting better, you know, they might just need that little friendly phone call or that little friendly text. Hey, how you doing today? How you feeling? Everything's all right? And it doesn't have to be nothing like significant. You know, all you have to do just reach out. Like I said, hello. Look, you like y'all just put me on your platform. You know, just for me to talk. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that something I say might have reached somebody. You know, that's just how I see it. I'm not just talking because I just want to talk, and I do like to talk, but I hope that something that I say may reach somebody.
Absolutely. That's the same for us, even if it's one. Like we you know what I'm saying? This isn't for fame, fortune, or none of that. Like this is for him, and this is sis, bro, to heal and not cope, because we are a coping generation, and it's
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. That's why you have us. That's why you have Divine Warren and their family, because we are here to help you heal. Like we all need to heal, and even though you don't get it twisted, we're up here and we're still consistent healers. We're
exactly.
I told you last week's guest pulled me out. I mean, pulled me out. I was in a whole, okay, this is RockTruth, and I
no.
After Shima came on, I am your home. Selena,
I am.
Absolutely. You hear me? And it took, you don't know where anybody is. You don't know, like I cried through that whole episode. She brought me out. Thank you, Lord. But you don't know where nobody is, you know, because you see us up here. Don't think that we're finished products. No, we just further ahead. That's all.
Not even close.
And this is a daily operation.
Yes.
One day at a time. It's a daily operation.
Sometimes it's a moment at a time. It's moments.
A minute, second. But then on top of that, you got to think this is a continuing thing. This isn't something like, I think a lot of people think that, well, I'm just tying into what you said. A lot of people think that they hear certain things or change certain things about themselves, and all of a sudden they're healed. Healing is a process. And you talked about this being a coping generation. Not only are we a coping generation, we're a coping generation with a lot of interference put in the way to allow that deters us from actually looking at ourselves and getting in touch with who we are. It's a lot of interference put in our way.
Right.
You know. So in helping people, first you got to learn how to help and love yourself. Tapping back into the love. Learn how to love yourself.
Right.
And then when you learn how to love yourself and you actually you're aware of what love is, then you could pass that love back to others.
Right.
Yes.
And in passing that love back to others, we start to teach these young boys, teenage boys, that you don't have to be a thug. That's not the only way that you should be able to express yourself.
Right.
And break down some of these confinements of mentality that we have, boys thinking that they can't do certain things. Like you can't hug your mom in public. You can't hold. Look, I remember this guy I was talking to some years back. He told me that he felt funny holding his son's hand crossing the street. And you know where that came from? That was a learned behavior that he learned from his dad, because he said when he used to walk with his dad when he was young, his dad would never hold his hand. And when he would reach to hold his hand, his dad would snatch away and say, that's what punks do. So we got to break down that kind of mentality, you know, and I was trying to keep it, you know, kind of on the surface, you know, kind of keep it simple, but it's levels to this. Like they say, there's levels to this. So now, not only did it go from just the dad to him, it went to him to his child. Now, so that's 3 generations of dysfunction in regards to that.
That's right.
So now you start to see that it's not just that person that's right before you. We don't know his background. You talked about background. We may not know everybody's background, but at the same time, if we see something, we have to learn how to check people in a loving way. It doesn't have to be disrespectful.
Right.
Like, I don't care if somebody checks me in a loving way, because I know that's going to allow me to grow further. Because it may be something that I may not even be paying attention to, or it may be something that I'm not aware of. So how do I become aware? If nobody never tells me, I'm going to stay in that same frame of mind, because I may not even know I'm doing that. Like sometimes, like for instance, I would do certain things and then my wife would say, you know, you do X, Y, and Z. And to me, it may not be all positive what you're doing. And to me, I'm just looking at it like I'm just being myself.
Right.
So I'm saying all this to say, like I was talking about, you know, the young man who I knew who, you know, he doesn't want to hold his child's hand. My wife's telling me about things. We have to educate and re-educate. We have to let people know when they're doing something wrong. Don't co-sign the BS.
Come on, T.
Because it's a family member or somebody, you know, that you know, and get out of this mind frame that a man or a young boy or a child that's a male can't show the sensibilities that he has.
Right.
You know what I mean? If he wants to cry, let him cry. Let the child be a child.
Yeah.
You know, don't shut him down, because if you keep shutting him down, he's not going to know how to deal with those feelings and emotions, because you're constraining that process for him, you know, so now he can't go through it.
Yeah.
Let him be the child that he is. You know, don't just be like, if they come into you and they trying to tell you that's something wrong, shut up, boy, go in the room.
Right.
You know, you can't keep doing that, because then sooner or later he's going to stop coming to you. And I'm just trying to tie in, you know, some stuff that you had said and some stuff that I see when I deal with people. And ladies, and this, I'm going to say this, ladies, if you're trying to get in a relationship with a man, right? You say you want him to be a man. And he comes in and he's treating you politely. He's treating you the way you want to be treated. And then all of a sudden, this guy's too soft for you. How is he too soft? Now, I'm not saying if he's doing, I'm talking about if he's being nice to you, he's doing the things that you want him to do. Stop. Is either 2 things I kind of see with this. They go all the way to the extreme, right? With the women lib, I don't need a man. I could be self-sufficient. I could do this by myself. But we all know that all of us need love to some degree. Even an animal needs love. They even need that hug from their parent when they're born. So don't go all the way to the women lib side, or don't go all the way to the left and be like, you know, he's too soft for me as a man. Now, before you got him, you was talking about you want X, Y, and Z. You want him to do this. You want him to treat you nice and all that. Now, when you get that, now he's too soft. That's another thing I see.
And now I'm confused.
So now he's looking around like I'm doing everything I should be doing from a manly perspective, and now you're talking about I'm too soft because I ain't hitting you, or I ain't cursing you out, or I'm not raising my voice. You know, you can't have both sides. It has to be a balance, of course, but you can't just go all the way to the extreme right or to the extreme left.
Right.
Right.
You know, and I think part of that problem came about due to the fact that I think a lot of young girls and young women, they saw men act particular ways. You know, when it was a man, he had to be overly aggressive or raw. He had to protect you. Yes, he does have to protect you. But I think they see men act a certain way. So now in their mind, they have this preconceived notion of how a man is supposed to act. And then when the real man steps up and wants to be a real man towards you, now you're too soft.
Yep.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Now I don't need you to do nothing. Now you can't tell me nothing. This is my house. And he could be telling you, I like your food.
Right.
You ain't gotta tell me that. I know my food is good.
Right.
Come on, you can't do, you know, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. That comes from environment. That comes from a young
learned behaviors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because what she sees around her, she assumed that that's what she wants.
Exactly.
And so when something different comes along, that's the proper mindset and this proper framework, she views it as odd, as strange. It's like there's something wrong with this young man because he's expressing to me how he feels, or he ain't, you know, his pants ain't hanging down. Or
he's too emotional. Or he's too emotional.
Yeah, like it's like no, that's what human beings are, young lady.
Exactly.
Emotional creatures. Like we should cry with one another. We should talk
exactly.
Hello.
If you come up to me and I ain't talking to you about something, that's because I don't like you in general. But if I can't have that emotional talk with you, then we're not gonna have a very good. That's not something I want to deal with. No.
True. And then on top of that, even if you look at the word relationship, what's the first part of the word relationship? Relations. So when you talk about relations, that's not one-sided.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm not necessarily talking about relations like that. But I'm just saying, you know, it's not one-sided. Right. You know, and to talk about what I just want to tap into what you were just saying. So women, they say they want things and they didn't see a man in their lifetime that expressed their feelings and emotions and stuff towards them. Their dad might have been the hard dude. You know, don't let a dude treat you like this. Don't let a guy say nothing wrong to you. So that was all they picked up from the man. So subconsciously, that's within them that a man should be this identical way towards my dad or similar to my dad. And if not, he's an oddity. And that's part of what you said. Like when I was saying that is a learned behavior. You know, that's part of what it is. You know, a lot of people tend to emulate what they see, or they tend to think that what they see is right, even though it could be wrong.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's part of the thing when it comes to women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Because I can, you know, before we get out of here, I can attest to, you know, like you said, you're either going one way or the other. And so whatever you saw, you're going to either take it to, again, that extreme level or the other. For me, you know, my motto was independence. You do it yourself. You ain't got to worry about nobody. You got to do it. Not that that's not a bad thing. You do have to master singleness, but you need like you need a man. We are here because we need a man. They need us more than anything. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Like, no, for real. Like, I mean, hello. He, like I always say, you know, that man was prior to when he was in the garden with God, he was content. And he was. He didn't believe that he was missing anything. It was when God saw and said, "You missing something.
Something missing.
Something missing." But we ain't come here to rule over him. We came here to help and support and get under the submission and authority of. We're here to help. They need us.
Look, and that whole dynamic has been flipped in this day and time.
Oh my God, yes.
And that's a whole nother show.
That is.
That's a whole.
We're bringing you back. Don't even worry.
Look, the man is the foundation of the family. So if the man isn't in the household, I don't care how strong of a woman you think you are, the family dynamic has shifted. It shifts. And look, my mother and my grandmother, they love me to death. They taught me to be myself. I could be whoever I wanted to be. I could always express my feelings and emotions. And I agree that they were good women. But if you take the man out of the household,
Yep.
you know, the whole dynamics of the household shifts.
Yeah.
And then the young boy doesn't have no one to look up to.
Doesn't.
You know, they look up to the mom, which is not a bad thing. Or they look up to the grandmother. That's not a bad thing. But like we was talking about earlier, they need a man to see so they know what to emulate. They know what a man looked like. You know, they know what to reference as a man.
Yeah.
And we need to break down these boundaries and let people express how they are, especially when it comes to their feelings and emotions, because in this day and time with all this depression jumping off and people not seeing people and all that, people need to express that,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So it's just a lot. I'm just trying to say little bits and pieces at a time, but it's a lot that's going on in the here and now, and we just have to be mindful. Everybody don't know how to deal.
Yes.
Everybody don't know how to deal with those feelings and emotions or trying times like we may know how to.
Yes.
So let them express those feelings and emotions however they may,
Yes.
you know. And if it's something that you can see to help someone, try to help them.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a child and they doing something wrong, try to correct them to the best of your ability. But at the same time, be corrective, but don't stop them or stop or not allow them to be who they are.
Yes.
Right.
Because that's where the growth comes from.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man, thank you so much, Mr. Warren, for
You're
everything.
welcome.
This has been like, I mean, I can eat off this. So I love substance and not something. So this is dope. Is there anything like any website, social links that you want to, let us know where we can find you, and any final words?
Okay, well, what Divine thinks on Instagram, or Divine Warren, DIVIEWARREN on Facebook. We have Solutions Counseling. But if you hit me on Divine Warren or Divine Warren on Instagram, or what Divine thinks on Instagram, it's the same page, or Divine Warren on Facebook. You can reach me. And final words. Hopefully, we can all continue to pull through this with the least amount of problems as possible.
Mm.
You know, and allow people to be who they are. Allow people to express their feelings and emotions. You know, be your own. Yeah, that's one of my slogans. Be your own motivation.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and be true to who you are.
Yes.
And don't let people shut you down from being who you are, whatever that may be.
Yes.
And men, please do not get caught up in all these social constraints of what we can't do and how we can't express ourselves emotionally and what we can't say.
Yes.
You know, you'd be surprised how you could just say one little thing and how that can completely change somebody else's life or their perspective.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I said, and that gentleman, like I was talking about, he doesn't even want to hold his own son's hand when he crosses the street due to what his dad did to him. So we have to break that kind of cycle of ignorance.
Right.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't something that he chose to do. That was what he taught. He was taught
Right.
directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
And now he emulates that. And when I finally got to talk, and this was some years ago, but I will never forget that, because when I finally got to talk to him about that particular situation, and he was saying how he started holding his son's hand and all that, and how just from that one simple thing changed his life, and how he felt the love and how he felt happy, because he was being true to himself now, not just to what he was taught from his dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's about it.
Wow.
And thank you again for having me on here.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We thank, like how she said, you and your wife are so amazing. Thank you for blessing us with your
Thank
presence.
you.
Like, serious. You guys are dope. Like what it is that you two are just doing alone is impactful.
Mhm.
So we thank you so much. We will definitely be in touch. You know I am, and we will definitely have you back on.
Okay.
To continue
I
to discuss
appreciate that.
these issues, maybe on a youth show, so that now we can
Okay.
really gear towards the youth, and then hear, because they're struggling, and like you said,
Mhm.
you have to understand that a lot of these people are fed and bred this food.
Mhm.
Eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so when you come along and you try to provide them with reality, it
Mhm.
it goes against, it's in opposition of their idea of, or their perspective of reality. And so
Exactly.
to tell them that no, things go like this. They like, it can't be, all my life has been like this. So I so you have to understand, like, meet people where they are, like,
Exactly.
allow them to be them, and allow them, if you're there to help, again, help how you've been helped. Ain't nobody
Exactly.
away. Ain't
And
nobody.
when you hear them children cry out, listen to that cry.
Yes, please.
Listen to that cry, because we be on the phone talking to people, and I've heard so much stuff. So when you hear them cries out, and they crying out to you or crying out to someone near you, make sure you take heed and listen, because you could be a lifesaver.
You could be. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
You don't need, again, a simple smile, hello.
Yeah.
You don't even know, but if you
Simple hug.
a simple hug, and on the end of that, allowing them to be, the other aspect of that is you also being true to who you are.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You just don't true to you, and you're vibrant and loving and everything that you are, and don't shy away from that. Don't be afraid of that. Don't let nobody take your joy, steal your thunder, or tell you you're anything besides what God already told you. Don't do that, because that's the blessing. It's the gift.
Exactly.
It's you. It's you know what I'm saying? And not the made superficial you. It's the you that you were designed to be in His image. So
that authentic you.
Yes, teach.
The authentic you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm like,
thank you. Who's that singing?
Myra.
Hey. She's in all the room.
You.
They heard you singing. They hear you singing.
Yes, thank you for the
Oh, sorry.
She said sorry.
No, keep singing. I love it.
Right. Oh gosh, I the song I'm in love with today. But thank you again. No more of your time. Thank you so much, Mr. Ira.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We will be in touch. Thank you for blessing us, King.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good evening, y'all.
All right, man.
Miss Ira.
She said, "Love you, Iris."
Love you.
Yeah. Yes. So, oh wow, what an amazing show! Like seriously, like that was so impactful and inciting. Like for real. Like, and this is the part that I love about RockTruth. Like, I love like being able to help other people and meeting other people. I love. Oh God, that is the favorite part to me. And coming across, like minds, because He has blessed us all. He's given us all, if you pay attention, the same exact message. Right. And that's how you know it's Him. That's how we ain't even in the same. He giving us the same. That's how you know it's Him. Like for real. I ain't met nobody and we all on one accord. Yeah. It's because we on His accord. As you like the spokes on a wheel on a bike, the closer you start navigating towards that core and that center, everybody else that's on their different spokes are navigating towards it too. So you're gonna all end up meeting in the middle. Right. So that was dope. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Any comments? Any final comments before we get out of here?
I like pork chops and macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes. So I'm about to
absolutely. Well, don't forget to check out RockTruth Cafe Live tomorrow at noon. We have RockTruth on Monday at 5. We're going to have.
Guess what's happening right now?
What?
Terrion's playing, and TJ's watch. I don't know if TJ is he with you or is he on his way to?
I'm about to take him now. I'm about to take him.
He over here like, man, I want to play so bad. I'm like, well, get on. He's like,
I'm about to take him. So give him about an hour. Stay on, Terrion. Chicken lettuce wraps tomorrow on the cafe. Stay on, Terrion. He'll be there, and he's taking his camera. You can help him hook it up. Like, just text him, help him hook it up and stuff. But he's he's excited about having again this band of brothers. And I've been talking to him about you guys, and so he's excited about this. I can't wait. And again, ladies, women, it doesn't whether you have your child's father in your life or not. It's okay to have additional men to help them develop a model, to become. You know what I'm saying? You want to have different influences. You had different people who made a difference. So you want to have the difference, and it doesn't take away from a father. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take away from it. It's just make sure your children are properly equipped and make sure they touch or are with people that are going to help them become.
Yeah.
So let's see what else we got. Rock single. I know that's going to be on and popping next week.
Part 4.
Part 3 of friendship. You got Rock Queens, my lord. I love that show. And then following that, we always gone on over to BZ&Z Talk Radio. Y'all might as well just join us on over there so we can finish the conversation from Wednesday. It'll be on and popping. And when I you on and popping, it's on and popping. And that's a great thing. That's the thing. Like I tell you, and I just love the passion. I love the passion. Like people, you know, but everybody just really wants to love and be loved, and ain't nothing wrong with that. If you fight for anything, fight for love. Fight for God. You know, so so shout out again to Mr. Divine and his wife, Miss Ira, to Miss Carolyn Wilson. Thank you guys. I mean, you guys, the nation, Rock Truth Nation, for making it go round. We cannot wait. We got Rock Bottom that's going to be airing in March. I cannot wait. Miss Michelle unveiled. That's going to be amazing. Her voice is amazing. We have to get her to do the introduction for the shows because we can just play it. We just play it. Yeah, I think it's dope. Maybe not for this one, but for all the rest of them.
We should just do a commercial, right? Like the little 30-second commercial right at the beginning there. That let her do the voiceover, and then I wonder who's gonna have to do that video.
You.
Oh.
Yeah, we know. You knew before you asked. That's how you knew what was going. That's what I love about the nation. That's what I love about RockTruth. Like we all assume our positions. Everybody has their own lane. Everybody's gift have made room for them. Nobody has to compete. We are, collaborating and helping and building each other. So it's your position. You know what you do.
Would you please get my boy so he can go over here and play this video game?
Okay, we love y'all. Thank you guys. Watch it. Absolutely nothing at all.
Good night.
Please and good night.